Hi, I'm an artist, and my digital brush repertoire is frankly quite limited, and I also tend to use one brush only for the whole painting. But today, I want to expand territory and try out as many new brushes as possible. So that's why I decided to paint this cloud, but I have to change brush every 5 minutes. So to do that, first we will go here to the timer in Krita, set the alarm to 5 minutes. Yes, good. Next we will set the brush docker to all brushes. And then after every 5 minutes of painting, we will go here, give it a little swirl and choose one brush. And that's basically how we will roll for this painting. So first, to ease myself into the challenge, I used my beloved, the charcoal rock soft. Just to begin with something familiar. And with it, I did some foundational work, like choosing the colors, laying all the elements in the painting down, like the sky, the cloud, the purple thingy over here. And I am really glad I was able to do the sky gradient with this brush, because I didn't know what kind of brush will show up. And doing a big smooth gradient like the sky could be very hard without a soft brush like this. So yeah, getting that done early and out of the way was just simply a smart thing to do. And it's time for the first brush pull. Let's see what we will get. What the f? Yeah, same. Past me. Same. Like, I truly don't know why my hand chose something like this. And everything happened so quick as well. Like, the moment I realized what had happened, everything had already been settled. I'm kinda speechless, and not in a good way. Anyway, off to a great start, I guess. But actually, after painting a little bit with this, I have to say that even though it may sound really ridiculous, but this human brush created some surprisingly fluffy and natural looking cloud edges. Like just one or two of them, human, but enough of them. Oh, suddenly, cloud. Like as long as you zoom out and squint your eye enough, they are cloud. And I know it doesn't sound and look very convincing yet, I know, but give it some time. This is like the first brush after all, Lots of humans will get covered up later on, Trust me, trust the process, yeah. Anyway, let's see what the second brush is. Oh, okay. So another new rule here, I am allowed to do some simple brush editing. And yes, it was just added a few seconds after this pull, and yes, it was purely for my own convenience. I needed some compensation after that human brush, otherwise I couldn't continue the challenge. But anyway, since I was allowed to edit brushes, everything went pretty smoothly after that. Personally, I really like the shape / texture of this brush, like this kind of scratchy, brush strokey kind of look. I have been wanting to give this kind of brush a try because I have seen lots of people using them and have beautiful results. I wanted to experience that too. Yeah, so this was a good brush. Time for the next one. And okay, that is a fine one. Even though this one was meant to be used like a stamp to make splatter, but using it like a normal brush made some really soft and fluffy shapes, and they are very easy to blend. Something I was in desperate need to cover up all those human figures. Like, it's not like I don't like human or anything like that, like I'm fine with them, but this many, it was getting a little bit too much. They needed to be covered up, yeah. Anyway, really appreciate this brush, especially the little glow at the end there, like so beautiful. Thank you for your service. And let's see who our next victim is. Oh, watercolor brush. Another really good one for camouflaging the human. Like not straight up covering them because it was sheer and transparent. The covering was just enough to distract you from their existence. And usually the edge can be a little bit funny looking, but compared to the chaos that had been going on, it's nothing. Yeah. And on the topic of watercolor brushes, I actually never used any of them before. Like, I have tried them but never managed to make them look good. And I don't really know why. Like, I don't think it is the quality of the brush because I have seen people making good stuff with them before. It may be more like a me problem, like skill issue, I guess. But if we ignore the watercolor part of this brush, like just isolate and look at the texture alone, it is an interesting look, like something that I should utilize more, maybe. Anyway, what brush were we on? Oh, okay, this one. This one was another texture one. And by the way, do you think that these brushes look familiar? Like, isn't that the same brush paste as the splatter one? Yeah, like that is, right there. I think there was some problems with my randomizing method, and I should vary my scroll more, I think. Like scroll a short one, a long one, that kind of stuff, or else it wouldn't really be very random at all, you know? Anyway, another texture brush, which actually was quite great for rendering, and I tried to focus on the top part of the cloud because I started to kinda lose focus on what I needed to finish. Because usually I just started to render on part of the painting and then finish it, go to the next part and repeat the same thing until I am done with the whole piece. But since this was a brush changing challenge and almost all the brushes were new to me, I did have to think about where to use them, which did break my usual workflow a little bit. Like, for example, before pulling this building brush over here, as I just said, I was painting the top part of the cloud, but now I had to jump to the purple haze. Yeah, I think it's haze. Yeah. Anyway, I have to jump over there because this building brush seemed like a good fit for that part. And then when I was okay-ish with the haze, I came back to the cloud. But admittedly, I did feel a little bit lost, like didn't know exactly which part of the cloud I was doing before the switch. Like, is this how ADHD feels like? I don't know. Anyway, are we using new brush already? Oh, okay, another splatter texture one. And this brush actually didn't really show up much. Like, I didn't know what was wrong with it. The opacity was normal, like I checked, but for some reason it didn't really do anything even though I pressed down really hard. And well, maybe it was because this brush was a little bit too soft, like the texture was really fine and small, which was great for blending, but I think I was losing some hard edges on the cloud there. Like, everything started to look too blended into each other, like a homogeneous block. Yeah, I really need to put some hard edge back in there. And I mean, that brush looked crisp enough, you know, maybe a little bit too much. But it was perfect for this, rock formation or monolith-esque building over here though. And I put it in there because I think it would look kind of cool. And it did. Like, that was sick looking, But other than that, I was struggling to find something else to do with it. Like, I tried to put it on the sea part, and then the cloud part, and then the sky part, but it didn't fit in anywhere. Like, the rock shadow was a little bit too distracting, I fear. I couldn't wait for the new brush to get back into the cloud. Like, the cloud was still a mess, Yeah, a brush like this looked pretty good. And by the way, while past me was doing all the work, let's come back to talk more about how changing brushes affected my workflow, and also the way I think about brushes themselves, because I still have more to talk about that, Well, to be honest, I never thought that changing brushes can cause any interruption, like, let alone to this degree, like to the point that I felt lost after switching to new brushes. And which is quite interesting to think about because I usually just use one brush at a time, like for the whole piece. So most of the time in my brain, the brush kinda just fade into the background, like I don't really even think about it at all. But doing a challenge like this, it really forced you to think about, like, to really be aware of which brush you are using and how to use it to the best of its potential, Like, it's really changed the way I paint. And that's a good thing. This is like the main purpose of doing challenge after all, gaining new perspectives. And also making videos, like, let's not forget about that. Yeah. Anyway, what brush are we using? Is this the lips one? Oh, maybe it's already over, but let's talk about it anyway. Like, this one is also kind of fine. And I actually think all the texture brushes are fine to use as a normal painting brush. As long as you make them small enough and paint enough of them in there, like, things will be fine, Yeah. And next is that the ink tilt. Yeah, even though this one was meant to draw thin lines, but if you make them big enough and also make the opacity adjustable, everything is all fine and dandy. Like, I can just use this as a normal painting brush, And yeah, speed run to the next one. This real slash fancy brush really proved my point about the texture brush here. Make it small enough and paint enough of them in. Things look totally normal. Well, there's a caveat. Those texture brushes will work fine as long as the texture itself wasn't something too easy to recognize. Like that human brush, you know? Yeah, like that one. That one was not fine. And next, is that a basic round brush? Oh, it is. Wow, how did I choose something so basic and boring like that for this challenge? Well, from a painter's perspective, I appreciated it because it helped a lot with taming the crazy texture mess on the canvas right now. But from a video making point of view, wasn't this a little bit too boring? Should I spice it up a little bit? Maybe I should. Or maybe I shouldn't. Should I? And this was my chain of thought that led to this decision. The stamped shoujo bubbles. I was thinking very hard on it, and then I realized I needed to choose a brush, like any brush. I couldn't be frozen in time like this. The camera was rolling, and then in a moment of panic, bam, I chose this one. Which was a horrible choice, because this thing literally didn't show up, like at all. The bubbles were too fine, I couldn't see anything. But then I found somewhere to put it. It was on the tippy top of the cloud, and then it looked like some kind of light rays coming through. Yeah, and I was very proud of me in that moment. Like I found a way to use a bubble brush, and it actually looked okay-ish. Wow. And then I chose this coffee grinder brush because the thumbnail looked interesting, and I got confused because nothing was happening, like literally nothing. For a moment, I thought my Krita was acting up or something because it has been doing that a lot lately, unfortunately. The whole painting kind of flashed before my eyes, but it was fine. It was a blending brush, I didn't know. So I use this to blend stuff, yeah, like the shadow of the rock formation and some part of the cloud. Don't worry, I just panicked over nothing. Anyway, after that, it was time for the last brush, because I thought the painting was ready to be finished. And it is... Oh. How the fuck did this happen? Well, if it has already been decided like this, let's just go with the flow and choose another human brush. The thing I have been trying to cover up the whole painting section. Because why not? I mean, it will look fine, you know. The texture will disappear into the painting, you know. I am not bothered by all the human at all. No. Yeah. Anyway, I think the cloud is done. Let's check out how it looks, shall we? So that was the challenge. In total, I used 17 brushes, and this painting looked rather good, as long as you don't zoom in. If so, you will be greeted by thousands of humans, a nightmare for the introverts. Anyway, as always, thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoy what I do, you can support me over at Ko-fi. I am running a monthly wallpaper club over there. And with that, hope you have a great day/night ahead, and see you later.